Hello and welcome to another week at Road Trip Club, making holidays, selling holidays, booking holidays, all that jazz. This week I've got a lot of stuff to do when it comes to listing new road trips. I'm going to try and do one a day, so we'll be telling you all about those. And I've also really got to do another video, so I've got a video within a video. But do join me as we continue our working way through different places to road trip in the world. Okay, I was trying to do some Facebook ads things this morning, but there's just always something on them that breaks, so I've just had to walk away from my computer. And I thought I'd tell you some more about what else is going on this week. So you might have noticed we have it's not a shiny new website, that's what I was going to say, but slightly updated website. It was new last year, this year? Pretty sure it was last year, but I honestly can't remember now when things happened. But recently I've added the new road trip pages, which is slightly different because we can now, because historically we just did the group tours and then we started adding self-drive tours, but nothing really worked in a way that made it, wasn't like unclear, but it was just really easy to, it wasn't very easy to split them out and to see what was what, whereas this new system for doing it means that you can funnel them down by different elements. You can look at whether they are like road trip club group tours, road trip club self-drive, or if they're like a partner tour, and things like that. So it basically means that it's like a never-ending machine now of adding in and updating road trips and packages and things like that. So we do offer kind of loads of standard packages that aren't on there yet. So if people call up and say they're looking for something in particular, or they send me an inquiry, I can send them like a specific package and say, we have this one that might fit what you're looking for. But what I really want to do is get them all on the website so people can see. I mentioned last week that we were obviously working on the final stages of the other two group tours that were going out at the end of this month. So if you're not on the mailing list, you want to be on the mailing list so you can see when they come out with the special offer prices. So I basically want to get some of the self-drive tours up there at the moment. So we've got one which is for Munich, which is a really popular choice, and it's one that we've run before for a group. Well, it's similar to one we've run for a group. It's slightly tweaked because part of what I want to do is add more really economical tours. That's the nice thing about people who are doing self-drive tours. They don't have to book the food with us in advance. They can do, but obviously if we're doing a group tour, we would at least want to do a few nights where people have a group dinner and just make it simple. So all of a sudden the prices look really expensive, but actually it's because you're paying for all those different things like the crossings, the hotels, the dinners, breakfast, all the routes. You're paying for a photographer to be there, any extra excursions, that's what I was trying to think of. All those things you're paying for as part of that big package. Whereas some people do just want, like, they want to pick they want to know they've got the hotel sorted, bed and breakfast, a crossing if they need it. Some people like to sort their own crossing, but I think it's easier if we've got it included in a package price. And they want to know they've got all the routes that they can just, like, they'll either get in the post or they can download them and they can go with a group of mates or whatever. So the idea is to introduce more of these kind of low cost ones, as well as basically have lots of options for people depending on what they're looking for. So I've got this Motoring Munich route, which is kind of, as I mentioned in the last video, go and watch it if you haven't yet. A lot of people who come to us, they're really interested in like the big motoring spots. Germany comes up a lot. People are always looking for driving roads in Germany as well, maybe because it's slightly less obvious but we get a lot of traffic for driving roads in Munich, and they want to do things like the kind of big car tourism spots, I suppose, the Nürburgring, Munich, Stuttgart. We can offer some kind of more varied things as well. So that's the one I'm going to try and get up on the website today. It's just a little bit labour intensive. So yeah, I'll show you how I get on. Hello, it is Tuesday and I am back in the kitchen hiding from my desk. Today I have sent out an email about one of our partner trips, which is a trip to Abu Dhabi in December for the Formula One for the final round of the season. And that is one of the cool things about being partnered with this other business now. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, if you've never heard of Road Trip Club before, and maybe even if you have, maybe you haven't, maybe you don't know the whole backstory. So I thought I would give you my quick rundown of who we are, where we come from, etc., etc. So you obviously know me now, I'm Becca. I started off as a motoring journalist, and in 2019 I quit my job as a motoring journalist, sort of. I went freelance, but I quit my employed job to set up Road Trip Club and start offering driving holidays and group tours around the world. So that was June 2019, and we started doing events, pitched into loads of businesses, doing tours, like sort of white label tours for other people, all just me working from home doing this. And then obviously May 2020 was supposed to be our first, we were supposed to be doing a Rolls Royce driving tour over a weekend, I think it was, sort of etched into my brain, in Sussex. Sorry, I've still got a cold. And obviously March 2020, everything started locking down. So we went from like money going into the business account for the first time early that year, and then paying that all out again because we refunded everybody for the events we couldn't put on. So that was a really good way to start a business. And then slowly things came back to life, and it went from, we were doing lots, it was all lots of, I mean, I say that our first tour was obviously in the UK, not a million miles from where I'm based, but we had lots of European tours planned all over the world. Ones to Scandinavia, ones to Alps, lots of the same sort of things we're doing now, but we obviously couldn't put them on because international travel was no longer an option, which is why we started doing a lot more UK tours. So Wales has always been a popular one for us, the Highlands again, and we introduced driving days. It started as sort of, I brought on board this lovely lady called Michelle who used to work helping me out with the marketing and things like that, and we knew that we needed to do something to kind of engage with people and find those people who were into their cars, into driving, finding new places. And we hit on doing driving days, which was a one-day thing, so people would buy a ticket or they could become a club member and come for free. And we started with this thing called the Big Summer Drive, which we did run we didn't run it last year or this year. No, I can't even work out where we are in the year. That's terrible, isn't it? We ran it in 21 and 22, this Big Summer Drive. And again, even the first one we did was in June 2021, June 26, 2021. And that was sort of our first road trip out of lockdowns, but it was still in lockdowns, and we were on, it all got very complicated, booking hotels and trying to have a dinner with loads of people where all of a sudden you weren't allowed that many people in a room. It was so complicated. I'm sure you all remember, but it was all those things that every time it felt like we were getting over a hurdle of one part of the business, it just became harder again. So we were still just doing group tours, but would occasionally get people who would say, well, can you just organise this trip for me, for my friends? we don't want to necessarily come on this tour, but we really like the idea of it, and we want to do it just a small group of us. And so we started doing other small tours for people, or just little bespoke trips. People who wanted to do just like maybe a weekend away driving in Scotland, or again, sorry, Thomas is in the background getting excited about the builders. So it sort of developed like that, and last year I was thinking there's got to be an easier way of doing this, because as it was, every time we were doing a trip, I was having to go to hotels, negotiate rates. As you sort of imagine when you do a group trip, you build relationships with hotels, and they then give you good rates. They know who you are, they trust you. But again, someone wants to go to a different place, or you slightly alter the routes. I don't think people realise when obviously comes down to availability. When you're looking for places for that many rooms, it's not always possible. But also, you tweak the route slightly. I used to get people who would come to me and say, "Can I not just buy a route from you?" And I would say, "Well, this is our route. If you're going to a different hotel, that can completely throw out the route, and then you have to redo the whole thing." So we did do some where it was like that, but again, it's like a really labour-intensive way of doing it. So anyway, looked into finding out more about how travel agents run. It was a whole new thing for me. I'd only used travel agents a couple of times to book my own holidays because I was so into doing it myself. And ended up, I spoke to lots of different travel franchises, but ended up finding this company called Travelosophers, who I work with now. Because I was thinking there's got to be a way of making this easier, because you can obviously join all the different suppliers. There's lots of different bed banks and things, but things like atoll protection, no one's going to buy a package holiday from you if you can't offer them atoll protection, and atoll protection is obviously a really expensive thing to do. Becoming an ABTA member, again, really expensive thing to do, and all these things all together, actually being able to come into a company where there's all of this knowledge as well. They have processes, and all of a sudden, I know all you see is me and all you'll talk to is me. Well, actually no, you won't necessarily just talk to me, but the admin back end things is now done through this other company. So we have a whole booking system, which makes things much more streamlined, connects into all suppliers, all this kind of stuff, and makes it really easy to, well, not necessarily easy, but easier to cross-reference some of those suppliers to find that you're getting the best rates for people. These things still take a lot of time. I don't want to downplay it. It makes it sound like it's really simple, and I need to take you through exactly what I think it'd be so boring, but I'll do a cut-down version of when I do another big trip, or been thinking about showing you one of the ones that we've just done so you can see everything that goes into it. But by being able to get those better rates instantly and not having to go out and discuss it with people, it makes things so much easier. We still have to do a lot of negotiating with hotels, trying to find out that they have the right things for us. Being part of their team as well as being my own company, it means that I get the backup of, well, being an APTA member, atoll protection, but also this really knowledgeable team, great supplier training, as I was telling you about the other day, and just like a huge number of suppliers that we can go to for different things. It makes it sound quite simple. There's obviously still a lot of stuff involved, like with the sort of trips I'm doing, there's always something you need to check, like parking is obviously a huge part of what my customers need. Access, all those sort of things you need to check. We get a lot of requests for for twin rooms as well, because we get a lot of groups of friends going together, stag do's, things like that. And that means just check this. Those are all the sort of things that always aren't simple. And because we also do things like restaurant bookings and stuff like that on top, can all be rolled into it. It's all those things that make it what it is. But so this is how what we do at Road Trip Club has changed a lot, offering those like bespoke things, partner tours, as well as our own tours, just means we can offer a really wide range of things. But bringing it all back to that F1 thing, we've got what is a really exclusive trip. Doesn't necessarily have to be. With the option is there for grandstand tickets, but the one of the packages that we're able to sell includes a pre-race brunch with Gunther Steiner. Not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of other people who want to do it. This incredible hospitality package, and great hotels, flights, transfers, all packaged into one thing. So yeah, it's just more of that we're going to be doing, because we do get a lot of motorsport fans as part of our kind of customer base. Hello, welcome to Wednesday at Road Trip Club. So today I have been recording a video about road tripping in Germany to go alongside our Motoring Munich, is what I'm calling it at the moment, road trip that's just going on the website. So this one is sort of the very basic offering we have for road tripping to like car theme locations in Germany. The idea is to put a very simple route that people can do, and then they can scale up from that. So this is only 3 nights, and it gives people the chance to go to Stuttgart, Munich and the Nürburgring. Obviously that's quite a lot of driving, but we do get people who want to do something simple and quick over a weekend with their mates, so that is their kind of hard and fast crossings, 3 hotels, breakfast included routes, which we do with a starting price of $4.99 per person. That obviously depends on the crossing type you want, when you want to go, because it will get more expensive at certain times of years, but that is sort of like the base price we can offer. But we can upgrade from that. So I've just done a little video which explains the different, the best places that you can drive in Germany. So kind of covers off the nicest place to drive, the some of the highlights, motoring experiences, museums, things like that, and also some of those best motoring themed hotels, and some other collections people might want to do. So I've got a massive list as well of about 20 different car themed places, like car collections, car museums, that sort of thing in Germany that people might want to go and see. We've got some tracks and stuff in there as well, places you can do driving experiences, guided tours, and what I'm going to do is put that into a little guide that people can download. So the video I've just done will hopefully go out tonight. I've just got a bit of editing to do with putting all of the clips in, so hopefully I've not made too much work for myself, and hopefully it will go out tonight, if not tomorrow night, so it can go in the email as well. So people will be able to sign up from that link to get this document with all of those things in, and the locations, and that will hopefully give me some new potential customers to sell Germany road trips to. I don't think it will surprise you that one of the ones that we're going to do coming out later this month will have a lot of Germany in it, because it's got lots of these motoring locations. So I've given myself quite a lot of stuff to do today. Most of the road trip actual page is done and uploaded, so you'll be able to see that in full on the website, but just to give you like a little bit more of an overview, we've got crossing to Calais and drive to Stuttgart, so we've got the option to do some pretty roads around there if people want to. It's obviously crosses the Black Forest, if you don't know. Then from Stuttgart to Munich, that's a bit of a slog, but we'll get you there to BMW headquarters. Obviously Stuttgart, you've got a choice of Mercedes or Porsche, or you can try and do both. This is the nice thing about this one, is that you can pack it out So if you wanted to do 2 nights in Stuttgart so that you could have a day there, you could do that. Do 2 nights in Munich so you can spend more time looking around the museums, you can do that. And then come back via the Nürburgring, so put you in a cool motoring themed hotel there. And also you've got the opportunity to drive the track if you want to when you get there. And we've got some other cool locations nearby, which you'll have to get in touch about if you want to know all of them. I don't want to give it all away, but it's the adding in the flexibility and explaining that to people is slightly difficult in the listing, but hopefully you can go have a look and see how it's worked out. So I was just sat here having a meeting with office manager Tilly, but she fell asleep. Not the sort of team I need. Just having a little think about things that need to be done today. It's Thursday morning, even though on this screen it looks like Thursday evening because it's so dark and I had to put all the lights on. So I mentioned that I was doing a video for YouTube about Germany. I have actually pretty much finished that. I'm going to do it as a premiere tonight. And I've also put together the guide for a more extensive list of places to go. So if you're interested in that, check out that video because that will be out by now because this is going out on Saturday. That is going out on Thursday. We're working in a weird sort of time loop. So people will be able to go onto a special website, sign up for updates, and they'll be sent this guide, which is something I do quite a lot because it's a really good way to generate emails on the mailing list that are directly interested in that sort of thing. So when it comes around to our new road trip coming out at the end of the month, then hopefully we'll have some new people on the list who are particularly interested in car things in Germany. And also generally, they're pretty good people for us. So yeah, and I'm also going to put that video guide into our Germany, best driving roads in Germany piece on our website. So that is one of the best performing pages on our website. The guides have been really, really good for us because I can see directly in our stats, I can see what people are searching for from our Google Search Console. I can see what people are searching for and how they're reaching our website. And also we use something called Go Squared, and in there I can see what pages are most viewed. I can also see it through Google as well, but it's very nice to look at through Go Squared. And yeah, they're helpful for people. They help us build a relationship with people, but it's also really helpful to see what sort of things people are interested in. And those top things that we always get are Germany is the most popular, Italian Alps, Northern Italy, Alps, best Alps driving roads. Those are the top performing pages. So again, I know I've talked about how I'm adding more and more road trips in, but at the same time, I'm adding in these guides that complement them because it firstly helps us find people who are looking for those particular things and then direct them to those options that we've got. But also it's really good for SEO and things like that. It helps us see what are the most popular pages, what do people really want to do. It's not the only way we work out what people want to do, but it is a really good indicator. So I've got to sort all that out and put together the email. I'm going to do this video as a premiere, I think, later. So I'm going to put it out as an email to go out this evening saying that the premiere is coming out at like 8 p.m, I reckon. 8 p.m, one of those. So yeah, busy week putting all those bits together. I've also got a load of other stuff that's sort of gone on the back burner this week. Really boring thing. I've got to renew my insurance. Again, these are all really boring things that go on. After my little moan about my bank account last week, I did decide to update, to just move my bank account over to the new Metal bank account, which was really easy. I didn't have to do anything. I'm still annoyed that nothing is set up. So everyone that I've invoiced, I've had to say like, please, please, please make sure that you send it to this account. And so far, we've had no issues, but you never know. And yeah, every direct debit, I've got to reset that up. And the fact I've only just had a new card, obviously direct debits and things like that, but all the automatic payments that come off my card, I've only just had a new card from them maybe like 2 months ago, so I've got to do all that again, which is really annoying. I'm doing the wedding affair. Obviously went to see the Alpha Bank last week, and I'm going to do an evening event for people in the local area. So I've got to do leaflets for that. That's going to be on the 28th of November. People will be able to sign up for that. Because I'm trying to get people to RSVP just so I know how many people, because it's a space where it's limited. So I've got to sort all those things out. And also I'm talking to all the different suppliers to get things like marketing materials, leaflets, brochures and things that can go into goodie bags. Then we've also got the driving day, and I'm just waiting I've been chasing Caffeine and Machine to get a link back from them, because people will be able to book via a specific booking link for parking at Caffeine and Machine. And that's all we're asking. We're not asking for anything else on top of that. Apart from if they're a member, then we will sort that fee for them, basically. So yeah, a few little things there. And then also I am, as part of this kind of real life version of me, everything I've always done has been virtual to a point. Obviously the events we do are face to face, and that's really nice. It's always been a really nice part of the business, is meeting different people. But all the bookings and things have always been virtual over the phone. But I am trying to set up local, like I would say coffee mornings. Basically I'm going to, rather than having like a proper office, I'm going to set myself up in different coffee shops in the local area. I'm going to trial it like that, where people can book a slot or can drop in, but I'm sort of erring to the side of you need to book a slot, because I don't want someone booking a slot and then someone else turning up. That's not ideal. So I've got to set up marketing for that. I am going to do leaflets. I am going to do some local social media posts, but I've got to come up with the words and all the marketing and the booking side of that. But hopefully once it's set up, that'll be really simple, and it's the sort of thing, not getting enough attention, but it's the sort of thing that can be replicated in different areas if I wanted to do it in different parts of Hampshire and things like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It might not work at all, but yeah, these are the things that are all on the back burners, alongside all the usual stuff like talking to people about bookings and things. Had a booking for a request for a booking for ski holidays, so that should be quite an interesting one to book. And I'll show you the details of that as we go through it. So it's Friday again, it's the end of the week, and unbelievably it's nearly 3 o'clock already. My brain is completely fried, but I've just been doing some planning for someone's road trip, which is a trip out to the Dolomites. I'm trying to get them to the Dolomites within the time frame they've given of a week. So I'm just fiddling about with a sort of a sketch out of another road trip that I started, which was only 4 days, to see how I can make it work, to get all the points they want in. And I'll do them sort of like an ultimate, this is everything you want in it, and then go back to them, and then they'll likely fettle it back. I keep looking at wanting to show you a full start to finish, but it's so all over the place the way it works, because we go back and forward, fiddling things out. I do little bits on my phone, little bits on my computer, on my iPad, as you can probably tell from the videos. I jump around all over the place. But because I had to sit down for this, I've just done a screen recording, and I'm going to speed it up and talk over the top of it. So we'll see how that works, and if I can narrate what's actually going on fast enough. Okay, I'm going to try this. And talk you through what is going on. So starting off, Calais is obviously our starting location. You can see this is just a very generic sketch out of where we start, where we can go, to try and get an idea of the how long the days will take, whether it's possible. We're trying to work within a week-long time frame. So I've started with just an old road trip that I had in there, which was a trip to the Alps, trying to get to Austria, come back through Germany, and I'm going to tweak it. I'm going to try and get us to the Dolomites. Because obviously when you look at it on a map, it only looks like it's just over the border, easy peasy. We're starting up in Calais, drive to Strasbourg. Originally it was Andermatt to Innsbruck, but I just think going that side of the Alps is going to make it too difficult, so I've cut that out. Instead, we're going to stick with Strasbourg. I tried a few different options to see if I could do Baden-Baden or Heidelberg, because they're kind of nice alternatives, very picturesque, but Strasbourg, there's nothing really wrong with it. There's lots of hotel options there, which is always good. But as you can see, I'm sort of struggling to get these days under 6 hours, which isn't horrendous. If you're, I think if you go into it knowing there's a lot of driving, you're going to have to do about 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. It's not too bad. So have a little fiddle about with this. We're now going Strasbourg to Innsbruck, because that's a nice, pretty location. Have a little check around of the roads. You can see this is actually from August 2023, so I'm going to guess that those roadworks aren't still happening, but we can check that close to the dates. This obviously is just the first stage of planning a road trip. I'll do this, go through some different options. You can see here, I'm just trying to see if we can do Grossglockner up to Munich. And because we come back on ourselves, though very, very pretty roads, which we will still do, it's a little bit awkward. Well, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with going back on yourselves, but it's a long way to go back on yourself. So it sort of makes sense in a lot of ways to go down to Gardena Pass if we can. So what you can see here is that, again, it's a sort of long route. You can't finish at Grossglockner because there's just not really the option for hotels. But if we do just down to Selva de Val Gardena, can't talk. I put in some dates in next September to see what's available, to give us an idea of sort of costs, availability. And actually, there are lots of really nice hotels around there. The Dolomites are just a gorgeous location, so everything looks better. Picked out a couple of different options hotel-wise, things that are going to be the best return on price versus what facilities they actually have. So found a nice spa hotel, pretty nice rooms, really highly rated actually, and start just sketching out some more options. So that route, just going from Innsbruck to Gardena instead, that's only like a 2-3 hour trip. I do try out an option where we do a loop and go back to that hotel. I don't think it'll work out completely, because I think we just need to go slightly longer on that first day to make it slightly easier on the second day. You see we've got all these points in here. And this is how I talked about last week, didn't I? How I put all these points all over the place. I just like collect places that are worth going to and worth driving, because it makes things so much easier when it comes to this. You can go click through really easily and see what's going to work. So yeah, you see, I mean, Google wants to go completely the wrong direction still. That's why you can't trust it flawlessly, and you have to go through all these things as we do. But the idea is to go down to Gardena Pass and then up to Munich on the next day, going over the Grossglockner High Alpine Road instead. So from Munich then, it's all of a sudden becomes slightly more difficult about whether we go all the way to Cologne, which I think is just a little bit too far. Try an option going to the Nürburgring to give some sort of motoring thing. Again, it's about the same amount of time, and it's about playing about. So my idea is if we go through the Black Forest and stay somewhere near there, we can sort of cut the route in half. It's not an ideal, but as an idea to drive some really beautiful roads as well. We end up with staying in Baden-Baden. So that first day is then slightly shorter, and then from there go up to Cologne or Dusseldorf. Again, I still think they're a little bit too long, and maybe we end up having to do something slightly more boring to make the dates fit, because what we really want to do is make sure that we end up with enough time when we get to Cologne to be able to go around the Michael Schumacher collection there. And then ideally stay in Dusseldorf if we can find, if we can get the availability in the hotel room that we want, and in the restaurant that we want. Otherwise, I'm not really fussed about going there. But it does mean that on the final day, they'll have the time to go to the Classic Remise and drive back to Calais. So hopefully that works for them. But again, as I say, it's just a first little sketch out, and from there we'll then go back to them with a list of all the things they'll be able to do. They'll be able to come back and say this won't work. Initially, people tend to have lots of ideas about the things they want, and then it's sadly my job to say, I'm sorry, that's not going to work. But we'll do our best to come up with something that does sort of work and ticks most of the boxes. So yeah, the bit that you don't see there is I now have to put that all into a proposal so that it looks pretty, and show them the hotel options and things, and give them an idea of cost. So we're trying to keep the cost down with this one, and we'll see if it works out for them. Hopefully by Monday morning might have an answer, or at least some feedback on things that will or won't work. Okay, that is the end of another week. It is 5:30 on a Friday, and although there were a million other things I wanted to tell you about this week, I will save them until next week. So enjoy. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. And if there's anything else you want to know or see, please let me know in the comments below.